Have you ever wondered how something as mundane as taxes could ignite revolutions, build empires, and transform societies? Let's uncover the untold history of taxes and their incredible impact on our world. From ancient civilizations to modern democracies, we'll explore the surprising ways taxation has shaped the course of history. Ancient taxation systems. Let's journey back to ancient Mesopotamia around 2500 BCE, where one of the earliest forms of taxation was recorded. The Sumerians implemented a system where citizens contributed a portion of their crops, livestock, or labor to support the state. This rudimentary taxation was vital for the construction of public works, such as temples and irrigation systems, laying the groundwork for a structured society. Fast forward to ancient Egypt, where pharaohs imposed a tax called bakshish on crops and labor. Taxes were meticulously recorded on papyrus scrolls and stone tablets, emphasizing their importance in maintaining the state's power and the grandeur of its monuments. The pyramids of Giza, for instance, are iconic symbols of what centralized taxation could achieve. Massive, enduring projects that still awe us today. Did you know that in ancient Mesopotamia, one of the earliest forms of tax collectors were actually priests? These priests played dual roles as religious leaders and tax collectors, emphasizing the divine sanctioning of taxes. It wasn't just about collecting crops or labor. It was also about ensuring that the gods were appeased through these offerings. This intertwining of religion and taxation highlights the deep cultural roots and societal acceptance of taxes as a necessary part of life. The Roman Empire's tax legacy. The Roman Empire took taxation to unprecedented levels. They devised an extensive tax system that funded their sprawling empire, including roads, aqueducts, and a formidable military. The Roman tax, or tributum, was imposed on provinces and varied based on income, property, and even the number of doors and windows in a house. One of the most notable tax-related events in Roman history is the census ordered by Emperor Augustus in 28 BCE, which required citizens to register their wealth and property for taxation purposes. This not only streamlined tax collection, but also strengthened the administrative grip over the empire. The Roman taxation system influenced modern tax structures, showing the lasting impact of their innovations. The Roman Empire had a fascinating tax known as the pecunia, which was a cattle tax. This tax wasn't just a relic of their agrarian past, but a practical measure that underscored the importance of livestock in Roman society. Additionally, Roman tax collectors, or publicani, were private contractors. These publicani would often bid for the right to collect taxes in a particular area, making tax collection a lucrative business. However, their practices could be so harsh that it led to widespread resentment and even revolts, showing the fine line between effective taxation and oppressive overreach. Taxation in medieval Europe. Medieval Europe saw the rise of the feudal system, where taxes were paid in the form of goods, labor, and military service. The infamous Danegeld was a land tax imposed to pay off Viking raiders, highlighting how taxes could be both a tool of statecraft and a survival mechanism. The Magna Carta of 1215, a cornerstone of constitutional history, was partially a response to King John's heavy taxation. The barons' revolt against excessive taxes without representation laid the groundwork for modern principles of democratic governance and the rule of law. In medieval Europe, the concept of the tithe was a crucial form of tax that required peasants to give 1/10 of their produce to the church. This wasn't just a tax. It was a community event where the entire village would gather, and the produce would be blessed by the clergy. The tithe barns, where these contributions were stored, were often the largest and most impressive buildings in a village, symbolizing the church's power and the collective effort of the community. These barns are still standing in some places today, a testament to the long-lasting influence of medieval taxation practices. The birth of modern taxation. The 18th century ushered in a new era of taxation with profound global impacts. In America, the British imposition of taxes like the Stamp Act and Tea Act, without colonial representation, ignited the Revolutionary War. No taxation without representation became a rallying cry, illustrating how taxation issues can spark monumental political change. Across the Atlantic, the French Revolution was fueled by financial crisis and the burden of taxes on the common people. The unfair tax system, where the nobility and clergy were largely exempt, led to widespread discontent. The revolution brought about the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, emphasizing equality in taxation and inspiring future democratic reforms. The spark of the American Revolution wasn't just a fight for independence. It was fueled by a battle over unfair taxes. The Boston Tea Party, a protest against the British Tea Act, wasn't merely a rebellion. It was a bold statement against taxation without representation, setting the stage for a new nation founded on democratic principles. This pivotal moment in history showed how taxation could ignite the flames of revolution and pave the way for modern democracy. Taxes and the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution transformed economies and societies, and with it, tax systems evolved. Governments began to impose income taxes to fund expanding public services and infrastructure. The UK introduced its first income tax in 1799 to finance the Napoleonic Wars. This marked a significant shift from traditional property and consumption taxes to a more modern progressive tax system. The introduction of income tax was not without controversy. In the United States, the Civil War income tax of 1861 faced opposition, but ultimately set the stage for the 16th Amendment in 1913, which permanently established federal income tax. This change was pivotal in creating a sustainable revenue stream for the government, enabling it to undertake large-scale projects and social programs. Did you know that the Industrial Revolution not only transformed industries, but also led to the birth of progressive income tax? Britain's war efforts against Napoleon saw the introduction of the world's first income tax in 1799. This groundbreaking move was more than just a wartime necessity. It was a leap towards modern tax systems that aimed to distribute the tax burden more fairly among citizens, reflecting the era's shift towards economic modernization and social equity. The role of taxes in social welfare and infrastructure. In the 20th century, taxes became instrumental in funding social welfare programs and building infrastructure. The New Deal in the United States during the 1930s, spearheaded by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, relied heavily on tax revenues to finance public works, Social Security, and unemployment insurance. These programs were critical in lifting the country out of the Great Depression and laying the foundation for a robust middle class. Similarly, post-World War II Europe saw the implementation of comprehensive welfare states funded by progressive taxation. The UK's National Health Service, established in 1948, is a prime example of how tax revenues can be used to provide universal health care, significantly improving public health and social equity. Taxation and globalization. The latter half of the 20th century and the onset of the 21st century have seen globalization reshape taxation. Multinational corporations have become adept at navigating tax laws, leading to complex issues of tax avoidance and evasion. The double Irish and Dutch sandwich are strategies that companies like Apple and Google have used to minimize tax liabilities, sparking debates on tax justice and reforms. International organizations like the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, are working on frameworks like the Base Erosion and Profit Shifting (BEPS) initiative to ensure that profits are taxed where economic activities occur and value is created. This is a critical step towards addressing the challenges posed by a globalized economy and ensuring fair taxation. The digital age and future of taxation. As we move further into the digital age, taxation faces new frontiers. The rise of digital currencies, remote work, and e-commerce presents both opportunities and challenges for tax authorities worldwide. Governments are exploring digital taxes on tech giants to ensure they pay their fair share despite their borderless operations. Looking ahead, the concept of a global minimum tax, endorsed by over 130 countries under the OECD/G20 inclusive framework, aims to curb tax base erosion and profit shifting by ensuring that large multinational enterprises pay at least a 15% tax rate wherever they operate. This landmark agreement could reshape international tax rules and foster a fair global economy. Taxes have been a powerful force throughout history, shaping societies, fueling revolutions, and driving economic development. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden history of taxation, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories from the past.